Hi everyone, this is Dr. MD Shabana Sultana, working as an Associate Professor in the Chevron Engineering College, Chevron. Today I'm going to discuss about the elastomers or the elastomeric property. These elastomers is the structure of the elastomeric property when no stress is there. That means it is in the round in shape. If the stress is applied or the elastomeric property is under the tension, it becomes elongated and it forms the oval shaped structure. That means those polymers which possess the property of elasticity is called rubber. Temporary deformation in the structure on applying some stress is more than 600 E. When stress is applied, the polymer chain gets partially aligned with respect to one another, thereby causing crystallization, which makes the polymer stiff. On releasing the stress, the chain gets reverted back to their original coiled state. The elasticity of the rubber is due to its coiled helix structure. So this is the structure of the elastomeric property. Coming to the interaction of the elastomers, it is also called rubber-based impression material. It is a rubber-like material with a long chained polymer, slightly cross-linked and coiled, having the glass transition temperature much lower than room temperature. That means below the room temperature, it is a glass transition temperature. Accepted in dentistry to overcome two main problems associated with the hydrocolloids. It is having a poor tear resistance and it is having a poor dimensional stability. And it also contains large molecule having weak interactions among them, and it tied together at certain point, forming three-dimensional network. On mixing with suitable catalyst, liquid polymer is converted into elastic rubber through addition or condensation polymerization reaction. Stress application or stretching, it causes the chain to uncoil, and removal of stress, it relaxes the chain back to entangled state. So this is about the general interaction of the elastomers. Coming to the properties, it is having a very excellent reproduction of having a low viscosity elastomers. Generally, it is hydrophobic. It is having the excellent elastic property, but incomplete elastic recovery. It is having a high coefficient of the thermal expansion and excellent tear strength. And electroplating can be done by the use of copper or silver. And it is having the shelf life is approximately 2 years under the cool condition. If the cool condition increases, the shelf life is also increased beyond 2 years also. And it is a big fancy word, the elastomer. It means the rubber. In the rubber, the polyisoprene or the natural rubber will be present. Polybutadiene is also present, polyisobutylene and polyurethanes. These are all come under elastomers only. And coming to the vulcanization process, what is vulcanization? Vulcanization means the natural rubber which is extracted will have some sort of disadvantages because of the double bonds exist in the structure. To overcome that disadvantages or the difficulty, The disadvantages of the natural rubber are it is a soft and plastic in nature. That is, whatever the rubber which is formed from the plants, that is, the trees, it is having the soft and plastic in nature, and it becomes soft at high temperature and too brittle at low temperature, containing the temperature range of about 10 to 60 degrees centigrade. And it swells in water and easily attacked with organic solvents like acids, bases, and non-polar solvents like mineral oils, benzene, and gasoline. And it possesses the poor tensile strength. That means the strength of the natural rubber is very poor. Atmospheric oxygen attacks the rubber and produces the epoxides, which gives the bad smell, and it is sticky to rubber. To overcome that difficulty or to improve the property of the rubber, Charles Good, the name of the scientist, in the year 1839, they compounded the raw rubber with some chemicals. Compounding means mixing with some chemicals and heated to 100 to 140 degrees centigrade. Finally, they are compounded and vulcanized rubber is drawn in the form of a sheets by calandering process. In the previous slides, I explained the calandering process. By using that process, we will get the vulcanized rubber. So that process is known as vulcanization. So it is a chemical process for converting the rubber or related polymer into more durable material. That is by addition of sulfur or equivalent and heated at the temperature of about 100 to 140 degrees centigrade, you will get the vulcanized rubber. Then the general purpose of the elastomers are styrene butadiene rubber, polybutadiene rubber, polyisoprene rubber, natural rubber, and the synthetic rubber. Coming to the natural rubber. What is a natural rubber? It is extracted naturally from the latex of the rubber tree. That is called latex of the rubber tree is the name of the trees are Hevea brasiliensis, Guile, Dichopsis parcha, and the Pelagum ghatta. These are the trees which are found in the tropical and semi-tropical countries. And the main composition of the rubber, natural rubber, is polyisoprene structure, CR. This is the structure of the natural rubber, which is in the form of long coiled chain responsible for the elasticity of the natural rubber. The isoprene in the natural rubber is existing two geometrical isomeric form, cis and the trans. And this cis polyisoprene rubber, it is present in the tree called Hevea brasiliensis. And the trans isoprene rubber, it is present in the trees known as Guile and Parcha. The processing of rubber from the Hevea brasiliensis, the main structure is the isoprene, which undergo polymerization and forms the cis isoprene, which is a natural rubber, which undergo further polymerization and forms a structure called cis form of the natural rubber. And coming to the extraction of the natural rubber from the raw material extracted from the trees and the processing of the natural rubber from the Hevea brasiliensis starts with the sapping of the latex cell. That is, a cell sap flows from the trunk of the tree. Spiral grooves are made on the trunk of the tree and the latex flowing, then whatever the latex which is flowed, it is collected into a small vessels. Then latex is emptied into the buckets and it's transferred to the factory for processing. Tapping is usually done at the intervals of 6 months. It should not be tapered every day or every month. The tapping should be done with a time gap of 6 months. And the latex is diluted, whatever the latex which is obtained from the plant, it is diluted with 15 to 20% of unfiltered to remove the suspended impurities like pieces of bark, leaves, etc. Then it is taken into the tanks. It is taken into the tanks and treated with the acetic acid or formic acid. Then the rubber coagulates, that means coagulation is precipitated, and forms a soft white mass, which is known as coagulum, which is filtered and washed with water. After that, the coagulum is passed into the rollers. The coagulum, it is passed into the rollers. And the soft white mass which is filtered and washed with water. And after passing into the roller of about 3 mm apart and 50 centimeter wide, and it is extruded in the form of a sheets. See here, it is extruded in the form of a sheets, in the form of which resembles the crepe rubber, which possess rough surface. The rubber processed by this method is called a crepe rubber. The crepe rubber sheet is dried in sun. And the second type of processing is also done. The filtered latex is fed into a long rectangular tank of 1 meter wide and 30 centimeter deep and treated with the acetic acid or formic acid along with constant stirring. Vertical partition plates are inserted and left undisturbed for 16 hours. The coagulum sets in the form of a slabs, which is passed between the series of rollers with decreasing clearance in between them while spraying the water on these rollers. The final roller gives ribbed pattern of the rubber sheet, which help in quick drying and preventing the adherence of rubber sheets to one another. The sheets are hanged for about 4 days in the smoked chamber at 40 to 50 degrees centigrade. And this rubber is called smoke rubber. So in this way, the latex is dried, sorted, and smoked. So this is about the processing of the natural rubber. Coming to the properties of the natural rubber, it is having the high strength and tear strength, and its resistance to wear, the abrasion and fatigue, and it is having the high molecular weight, and it is a water propellant and shows the resistance to alkalis and weak acids. Coming to the synthetic rubber, this is about the natural rubber. Coming to the synthetic rubber, synthetic means the rubber which is synthesized in the laboratory artificially by using the structure called polyisoprene. And these are the rubbers which are come under the synthetic rubber, that is styrene butadiene, government rubber styrene, and Buna S rubber. Synthetic rubber is a material which can undergo much more elastic deformation under the stress than most of the material, and it returns to its previous size without permanent deformation. Coming to the first example, that is a styrene butadiene rubber. This styrene after the Second World War, due to the advancement of the automobile industry, the natural rubber sources could not supplement the need of automobile industry. An attempt was made to synthesize the rubber, but rubber-like materials were synthesized to supplement the need of the industries. These materials are called elastomers because they are characterized by the property of elasticity. And in this elastomers, the best example is styrene butadiene rubber. This styrene butadiene rubber, it describes the families of styrene rubber derived from styrene and butadiene. This styrene butadiene rubber, it is also known as the Buna S. This Buna S is also known as GRS, that is government rubber styrene, or is also known as Ameripol. This styrene butadiene rubber SBR is made by using 75% of butadiene and 25% of the styrene by weight. So it is a block copolymer. Coming to the structure of the styrene butadiene, see here, it is made from the 1,3-butadiene, which is 75%, and the styrene, which is 25% in its composition. These two will undergo polymerization in the presence of the catalyst, and it forms the catalyst called sodium catalyst, and it forms the butadiene, styrene butadiene. Coming to the properties, this styrene rubber, it is a strong and tough polymer, and it is vulcanized by the sulfur monochloride or sulfur. It resembles the natural rubber in processing characteristic and quality of finished products. It is having the excellent abrasion resistance. It is having the good electrical resistant insulator. It is resistant to chemicals, but it swells in oil and attacked by even the traces of ozone present in the atmosphere. Styrene rubber possesses high load bearing capacity. Coming to the disadvantages, what I discussed, it can easily attack even the small traces of ozone present in the air, and it can be spoiled by the oil and solvent due to swelling. Coming to the uses, these applications of the styrene butadiene rubber, it is widely used as a rubber in the manufacture of the tires, and is used in the footwear industry for making the shoe soles and footwear components. And it is also used for making the wires and cable insulations. It is also used for making the floor tiles, floor tiles, tank lining in chemical industries, and as an adhesives. Coming to the differences between the natural rubber and the synthetic rubber, the natural rubber, synthetic rubber, and vulcanized rubber. Coming to the strength of these three types of rubbers, natural rubber is having the low tensile strength of 20 kg per centimeter square, and vulcanized rubber is having the high tensile strength of 200 kg per centimeter square, whereas the synthetic rubber is having the much higher tensile strength of 250 kgs per centimeter square. Coming to the temperature range of the natural rubber, vulcanized rubber, and synthetic rubber, it is highly resistant to heat. That means it does not decompose when it is exposed to heat. Whereas the vulcanized rubber, by maintaining the temperature at about 40 to 150 degrees centigrade, this vulcanized rubber, it starts decomposing. Whereas coming to the natural rubber, only at the temperature of 10 to 60 degrees centigrade only, the natural rubber gets decomposed. And it is having the high tackiness, whereas the vulcanized rubber is having the low tackiness, and the synthetic rubber is not having any tackiness. Coming to the abrasion resistance, synthetic rubber is having high abrasion resistance. That means it cannot be easily break into pieces. Whereas the vulcanized rubber is having the high abrasion resistance, not much more higher than the synthetic rubber. Whereas the natural rubber is having the very poor abrasion resistance. That's why it is very soft and weak. Whereas the vulcanized rubber, it is stronger when compared to that of the natural rubber. Whereas the synthetic rubber, it is very strongest rubber. Thank you.